everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I'm back with a good old-fashioned family home, and this one's in the world of San Sequoia, which is the world that came with the Growing Together expansion pack. It's this like suburban kind of a neighborhood. It has lots of craftsman homes and stuff, and it's actually been a little bit since I've built here, so I was so happy to be back as I really do enjoy this neighborhood. It's such a good suburban, family-friendly type of a neighborhood, obviously, because that was the entire like theme of the pack, so it only makes sense. But yeah, I was feeling very inspired to build a cozy, wholesome, good old family suburban house, so that is what I did for this one as well, and I'm really happy with how this shape turned out. I think this house ends up having 3 bedrooms total. I have to think for a second here. Yes, it has the parents' bedroom on the ground floor, and then it has 2 bedrooms on the second floor, which one of them is for a teenager and the other one is actually for a young adult who has moved out and is now off to college. And I feel like they just left, so maybe it's just now the start of the semester and this is their first time ever like being out of the house, of course, so they now live in the dorms, and they obviously still have their bedroom at home, but you can tell that they have moved out. Like there's some boxes still around, maybe there's some boxes with like the last of their stuff that still needs to go over to the dorm. Maybe it is like the end of the summer vacation right now and there's still some boxes that need to be driven over to the campus or to the dorm, wherever they live now. And the bedroom is kind of just like sad and empty, but it's not completely empty. Like it's still their bedroom, but it's just, it has all the personal items are basically missing from the room. So I thought that was like a fun little story to tell. And then the other teenager is still living at home. They're a little bit younger. They are still in high school, and I thought it would be a fun idea if that teenager is very much into crafting, knitting, macrame, stuff like that. So I gave them a bunch of the nifty knitting items, and in my brain they have like this Etsy shop or a Plopsy shop, if you will, where they sell all of their creations, and I feel like they have this really cool little business going on even though they're still in high school, which I thought was a really fun idea. So they're really creative that way. And then we obviously also have 2 parents. And well, I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be 2. It could also just be 1 parent or a grandparent. I don't know, but I was imagining 2 parents, but I didn't really have a storyline for these parents necessarily. So they just have a pretty generic but pretty bedroom. And as you can see, there is also a garage attached to this house as well. It's a pretty small garage, but I had the space for some workout equipment in there, and it has like a workbench type of a thing as well. So it's basically just your typical garage. And that way I think I turned it into a very cozy little family home. And I'm actually obsessed with the color scheme that I chose for the exterior. As you can see, I chose very dark colors. The exterior color scheme is very gloomy, and I really enjoy that. It gives me all the fall vibes. I am most definitely into fall builds right now. It's also because I'm working on a save file with a couple of my friends where we're turning Brindleton Bay, well, we're basically rebuilding Brindleton Bay, and that one is all fall themed. So I've been building a bunch of stuff for that collab, for that save file, and I don't know, I'm just very much into the fall vibes right now. Also because it's literally September, what is it today? The 17th, yeah, so we're basically in the middle of September and the fall vibes are hitting hard. It's finally starting to cool down here too. We got hit by a heat wave in September, which is ridiculous, but it's finally cooling down now, and I get to be officially excited for fall now. So I feel like the exterior color scheme of this house was definitely inspired by the fall colors, even though the build itself isn't necessarily really decked out for Harvest Fest or fall or anything. It doesn't really necessarily have any fall decorations going on, but it is a family home, so you could totally go through and like decorate it for Harvest Fest. I think that would be very cozy. And then for Christmas time after that, of course, as well. But for the rest, this is just your basic family home, which I was very excited about to go back to this. It's been a while since I've done that because ever since Horse Ranch came out, I've been so obsessed with building all these farmhouse and ranch type of builds with lots of animals and that are a little bit more on the like rural side of things, a little bit more rustic. So for this one, I was very happy to do something very suburban, which is and will probably always be like my favorite thing to build. There's just something about a good suburban family home that you just can't beat. And so that's why I was very excited to go back to this one. But as you can see, I'm doing some landscaping. And we do have a side yard because this lot is pretty small. So I didn't really necessarily have the space for a backyard in the back of the house, but we ended up doing a yard on the side of the house. And I think that actually turned out really, really nice. And it was actually a nice change of pace to not decorate it for children necessarily, but for like teenagers. So I didn't have to place a whole bunch of play equipment or anything in the backyard. You could obviously, because maybe you want to use this house, but you do have like younger kids in your household or something, then you can definitely go through and like place some play equipment. But I didn't necessarily do that for my version of this build. And it was a very nice change of pace because whenever I do family homes, my brain automatically just goes kids, toddlers, and then maybe a teenager, but always like younger children. But for this one, I was like, no, you know what? Let's actually do a teenager that's moved out. And I was actually inspired by this because over on Twitch, I do have a shell challenge going at the moment, and I obviously also did it myself. I took on the shell challenge myself. I decided to not make a video out of it because the footage was extremely confusing because it was a puzzle shell. So basically what that means is that my mods actually created different shaped rooms. And then the people that take on the challenge, me, myself included, you have to like make a build out of those separate rooms basically. And obviously that was a puzzle. And so the footage turned out very confusing and it was a lot. And I couldn't really make a great video out of it. So, or for a speed build purposes, that is. So I decided not to do it. But for the inside of that build, I also was very inspired to do a teenager or a young adult that's moved out and gone to college. We did that for that build as well. So I was like, you know what, let's just recycle that idea and let's do one bedroom for a teenager and one bedroom for a young adult who just moved out like a few weeks ago. So I thought that was really cute and a lot of fun. But yeah, here you can see we're moving on to the interior of the build. When I finished this house, the new kit just came out. The Modern Luxe kit is what it's called. So that one just came out and I was obviously inspired to use it for this build. So I did do that and I combined it with this base game couch. I thought this couch was so perfect for this color scheme because as you can see, we have this blue wallpaper that is base game. It's one of the base game recolors that I cannot stop using. I'm obsessed with these extra newly added swatches. Especially this dark blue, I think is so, so pretty. And it goes really well with this beigey cream color for the couch. And then I combined it with these brown chairs that are a little bit more fancy looking, but I feel like it combines so nicely. And obviously I had to go and use this frame TV because this is like, I feel like maybe this house was newly, well, not renovated, but they definitely upgraded from time to time. So they got a new TV. Maybe they just got a new TV a few months ago and they have their brand new fancy frame TV now. I thought that would be a fun little addition. But yeah, here you can see I combined these more fancy looking chairs from the kit with this very family friendly and basic looking couch. And I feel like it really works. Like I kind of expected it not to work. I expected it to be a little bit weird and mismatched, but I actually really like it because the couch is very basic and then the chairs add in a little bit of a touch of glamour or luxury, if you will. And I think it just really works. I think it just looks very cozy. So that's what I did. And behind the couch, we have a little bit of an end table where I place some clutter items, of course. And then we have this very family home looking, family friendly looking fireplace from Parenthood in here as well that brings back a little bit of that dark brown, even a little bit of the blue and the tiles as well, just a tiny little bit. And then the whites, of course. And I obviously had to go crazy with these throw pillows, these cushions. I feel like they're so perfect for this couch because this couch is very basic, especially in this color, and you can definitely like jazz it up a little bit and like spice it up a little bit with these cushions and these different colors. I think it's just so perfect to add a little bit of personality to the space, make it look a little bit more lived in. So I was very excited about that. And I obviously also added a little pillow to one of the chairs because it's just really cute. And then this frame TV above the fireplace, you just can't beat it. It looks so good. It just elevates the entire space. I feel like, because regular TVs are just not that great. They're just not that great. They're a little bit boring. So I thought that this frame TV was perfect. And then obviously we have a little bookcase behind by the staircase as well, behind the chairs, that is. And then the floor plan for this house is actually pretty closed off, which was a lot of fun for me to do. I don't know why, but usually when I do these suburban family homes, I tend to make them a little bit more on the renovated or modern side of things with more open floor plans, but this one's very closed off. So off of the living room by the entryway, basically, we have a little kitchen. I did end up expanding it a little bit out to the hallway because the hallway is 3 tiles wide and the kitchen felt a little small because we also had to turn it into a dining room because there is no separate dining room, and I obviously did not have the space for a full-on dining table in the living room because the living room is pretty small. And so the kitchen ended up being pretty small, and I was like, you know what, this hallway is 3 tiles wide. That is not at all necessary. So I actually ended up expanding the kitchen a little bit to the back, and then we did have enough space for a full-on dining table and also some island counters to just make it feel a little bit more spacious. Because this is a family home for a family of 4 Sims, or maybe even more if you wanted to turn the bedrooms upstairs into shared bedrooms, which you could do. The bedrooms are not that big, they're not huge, but if you wanted to, you could very easily turn them into shared bedrooms, especially now that we have bunk beds. I feel like that would work really well. But here in the kitchen, you can see that I made it look very, very family friendly. I used these base game counters and appliances, which I thought looked good because I really liked that warm orangey wood tone. And I liked the fact that the kitchen maybe looks a little bit outdated because renovating a kitchen is a big expense, and maybe they're still planning on maybe renovating the kitchen at some point, but they haven't done that yet. So the kitchen looks a little bit outdated maybe compared to the living room, or parts of the living room at least. And I really liked that like mismatched. It's not necessarily mismatched, but more like that renovated over time, newly added stuff added over time versus the older stuff that's been here for years. Like that sort of a vibe. I feel like that makes it look very lived in and more realistic. So yeah, that is something that I definitely try to go for. And I also ended up having enough space in here for some island counters as well. So that is pretty cute. And then for the kitchen overall, I just obviously added some clutter because it is a family home, so I wanted it to look a little cluttered, not overly so it's definitely still usable. I think I left one counter free of decorations, which would be the counter next to the sink, so your Sims can actually use that one. For cooking, I did not leave 2 counters empty, which if you want to cook with 2 Sims at the same time, I never actually used that feature, but they did add that. Not that long ago, they added that feature where you can have 2 Sims cooking at the same time, like they can join in on cooking the same meal, or multiple Sims, maybe it's even more than 2, I'm not exactly sure, but you need a counter, like a free counter for each Sim who is joining in on the cooking basically. So yeah, but you could easily free up some space if you wanted to do that, of course. And then across the hall, across from the kitchen and dining, we have a office space. At first I wanted to actually turn this into a laundry space, like a little mudroom situation, because it also has a door that leads to the back porch. But I ended up not doing that because the bathroom downstairs actually ended up being pretty spacious. So I was like, it makes a lot more sense to just add laundry machines to the bathroom here, or the garage for that matter. So I decided to put it in the bathroom and turn this into a nice office space. Especially since the hallway ended up being a little bit smaller than I had in mind at first, because at first I was like, this hallway is pretty spacious, we could turn that like into an office space, that would work perfectly. But I actually ended up making it smaller because I expanded the kitchen, so I decided, you know what, this mudroom can be turned into an office. I feel like that makes more sense. Maybe one of the parents works from home or something, they need the computer, and I also added in a easel because it's just a nice skill building item for your Sims to have, and I thought that would make the space a little bit more usable, even though of course the computer is pretty handy to have and your Sims do use it a lot. So I feel like that makes sense to have it in here as well. And we have a little reading nook here by the bookcases, the book nook bookcases that I used. I placed some of those pillows on top of the lower half of the bookcase so your Sims could sit there maybe. I mean, they can't, but we can pretend. I thought that would be really cute, like a little reading corner. I actually also debated giving this family a pet, but I didn't end up doing that because I didn't really have space for pet items. I mean, you could probably squeeze in some pet items if you really wanted to, but it felt a little bit too cramped to my liking. So I decided to just not do a pet this time. But like I said, if you wanted to add one, you could very easily do that. And then over here we have the bathroom slash laundry space. So this is the one bathroom that we have downstairs. The parents' bedroom does not have an ensuite or anything, but this bathroom, the whole bathroom, is basically just right around the corner from their bedroom, so it only makes sense. And then upstairs we have another whole bathroom for the kids to use as well. So there's 2 bathrooms total. And I really enjoyed using the parenthood items in here because, well, I was just very inspired to make this house very family friendly and just like your perfect family suburban basically. So the parenthood items are perfect for that. I really enjoyed the shower tub combo with the blue and white shower curtain. I never use it anymore, especially since we have the new one. The new shower tub combo that came with Growing Together. It's just so pretty and it's so nice and modern that I never really use the other ones anymore. But for this house, it was just perfect to use this one from Parenthood, especially because I wanted to use the blue counters as well from Parenthood. So that only made sense. And then over here we have the parents' bedroom. And so as I was furnishing this one, like I said, the new kit had just come out. So I wanted to use the items in here. And at first I wasn't sure about using this bed. I felt like maybe it looked a little bit too luxurious and too fancy, but I decided to just stick with it and see if I could make it work. And I think it actually really works well. Maybe the parents decided to just really splurge on a brand new luxury very comfortable bed for themselves, and they just got this one. And even though maybe it looks a little bit out of place, I feel like it just kind of works in this room, so that was fun. And then I actually repeated this chair, and at this point, this was a different day. I think this was a couple days after I had furnished the living room. It kind of slipped my mind that I already used these exact same chairs in this exact same color in the living room as well. So I kind of repeated it a little bit too often, I felt like. So I think I ended up changing it to the blue swatch as I was taking the screenshots of this build. So you see that I placed the brown swatch at first and then I swapped it out for the blue one, the dark blue one. I thought that was really nice to bring in some of those blue tones that I'm using in the living room space and in the hallway of this build. So yeah, that actually was a nice decision, I feel like. You could obviously swap it out for a different chair if it still feels a little bit too repeated or too samey. I mean, I can totally understand. But these parents, they have a little dresser that I cluttered up with some stuff, and they also have a built-in wardrobe as well. So I thought that was nice. This bedroom is actually pretty spacious. And it, you can see that it has a door into the garage, which maybe is a little bit silly. The garage doesn't really have a door into any other part of the house other than the parents' bedroom. But this is just how it worked out, and I feel like it makes sense in a way that maybe the parents' bedroom used to also still be part of the garage. Maybe they renovated the house and turned part of the garage into the bedroom and maybe extended the house in the back to, like, you know, do some renovations. I definitely thought that this original house didn't have a bedroom downstairs, but they added one because they needed to renovate the house. They needed more space as the family grew. So I could totally see that being a thing, which is why maybe the, you know, the door from the garage into the bedroom is a little bit silly. But I felt like it really worked for this floor plan regardless. So yeah, I do not regret the decision. But here we're moving on to the second floor of the house. The second floor is actually really small, especially compared to the downstairs area, the first floor, if you will. With the garage and the parents' bedroom. Like it's actually pretty spacious, but this second floor is a little bit smaller. And over here we have the teenager's room who hasn't moved out. So this is the teenager who is very much into crafting and macrame and knitting and all those types of things. I really tried to place as many of the knitting items in here as possible, and I used this pastel pop wallpaper with the flowers and the strawberries. I thought it was so perfect. So this room, color scheme wise, it's a little much. Like, it's definitely all over the place, but I really enjoy how it came out. And I really try to reflect the fact that this person is into crafting, and I think it shows. I think you can definitely tell by their bedroom that crafting is their hobby, because this room is filled with the crafting clutter and items as well. I also made sure to place the functional crafting items so that the sim can actually do some knitting in here as well, which I thought was really cute. And the room is very colorful. It's very pink and purple, and it has some yellow and also some like green or teal-ish pops of color here and there. They have a little Bluetooth speaker so they can listen to music. They have an iPad in here because I was definitely thinking that this sim, maybe they need their iPad for school, but I was also thinking that they have a Plopsy shop or Etsy shop where they sell all their creations. So naturally they need some sort of a device to keep that updated. They probably also use the computer downstairs for that, but I thought maybe an iPad would be fun for them to have because I don't really use them very often. And then also, of course, one of the new recolored or added swatches of the backpack, I had to use that in there as well. I thought it was so fitting to have the very, like the pink, is it a watermelon print? I'm not exactly sure. It's a watermelon kind of a thing, I believe. It looks really cute. But yeah, the bedroom is definitely a little much, but I think it turned out really cute. I was just getting too carried away with that room. I feel like it was a lot of fun because I had such a clear vision of their personality and what they would be into, so it was a lot of fun to decorate their room. And then this is the second bedroom upstairs, which is for the older sibling who has moved out and gone to college. And I was thinking that this sim was very much into sports. It kind of shows on their bedding and stuff. I think I even used that high school years rug with the school print or like the school mascot kind of print on it. To kind of show that they are very much into sports, and they probably went to college for something sports related. I feel like they probably got a scholarship at least, because maybe they're in the football team or whatever sports they play at the university they went to. They probably got a scholarship, a sports related scholarship as well. And they're in college now for also maybe something sports related. I don't know. I have no idea what their major would be, but probably something physical, something, I don't know, something sports related. That's all I could come up with really. And then over here we have the garage. For the longest time, I tried to place a bike on these countertops to kind of reflect that maybe the bike is broken and they're working on fixing it, but I couldn't have it stay the right height. For some reason, it was a little bit glitched. I tried to tool it, but the bikes, they don't really wanna lower or I mean, rise up in this case. So I just decided to place it on the floor, which also works, you know. And then, like I said, I had some space in here for workout equipment, so I did the punching bag and the treadmill. And I also ended up placing the basketball hoop out front by the garage. I thought that was actually perfect for a family home, like a suburban family home. I thought it was so cool. To me, that's very American. It's something you see in the movies. You know, it's very much a cliche American thing to have that, but I really enjoy how it looks. So yeah, I quite liked placing that there. And then over here, we obviously have the backyard. So we have a very small back porch, and I decided to place a dining table here with a grill as well. And then I also have a nice seating area out here. I use these couches from Seasons to create a nice little seating area in very like fall kind of colors. It's very autumnal because like I said, I was very inspired to use autumnal colors out here. So that's what I went for. And for the rest, I just did some landscaping and tried to make this backyard look cozy. It's only small. I didn't really have the largest amount of space, but I did include some planter pots because I thought that was a nice thing to add for this build as well, for some extra skill building items. And for the rest, I think I also placed some loungers. Yeah, I placed some loungers underneath the tree. And then I just did some additional landscaping. I added the last final touches and little details to the house, some landscaping, some rocks, some terrain paint, of course, and then that's it. So let me jump right into the game and I'll show you the house in real time. So here we have the house in the game. It's actually fall in my game right now, and I feel like it looks really good in this season. The colors obviously are very fitting for this time of year as well. So yeah, I feel like it really thrives in the fall. But here you can see we have the facade of the house, the tiniest little driveway with the garage, of course, and we have this little pathway with the mailbox and the little front porch. Over here we have the backyard or side yard, if you will. Here on the front porch we have a nice seating area, and then we have another one over here, some loungers in the back, and also also some planter pots, so you can do some gardening out here if you want to. But then moving on to the inside, you basically walk right into the living area. So we have a little bit of an entryway nook over here with a coat rack and stuff, and some storage over here. And then for the rest, there is just the living room. And you can see that my sim has found the TV. I really like the color scheme in here. The dark blue combined with the dark brown. I feel like it's just it's a very cozy and homey kind of a color scheme. And then the couch really brightens it up a little bit. We have a bookcase back here by the staircase. And then over here, we have an archway leading into the kitchen. So the kitchen's pretty small. We have a 4-seater dining table over here. And then just, you know, your regular little kitchen over here with all the necessities. It has some clutter, of course, because it is a family home. And we have some cereal in the corner. And then through this archway, you basically enter into this hallway space. I really like how this floor plan ended up. It's maybe a little strange, but I think it feels very cozy. So across from the kitchen, we have this study area with a computer desk and also a little reading area and an easel for skill building for your Sims. And then through here at the back of the hallway, we have the parents' room, which is nice and spacious and feels very luxurious because of this bed. Like, it's so bougie in the best way. I really like it. And here you can see that I changed the swatch of the chair to blue because it was a little bit less repetitive that way. And then we have a dresser with some knickknacks, an area for family pictures, of course. They have a built-in wardrobe and then just some additional storage over here. Connected to the parents' room is the garage. So we have some basement clutter in here and some more over here, and we have a bike parked. And then for the rest, you can really use this space for your sim to work out. That's the main use for this space, I feel like, because your Sims don't really need garages, but I feel like for working out, it's actually perfect. And then over here is the bathroom slash laundry space. I really like this bathroom. It's a little bit bigger than my bathrooms usually are, but I like it because it fits some laundry machines, and then we have a nice sink area. It's nice and cluttered over here. I really enjoy that. And of course, some laundry baskets too. Then when we go upstairs, we have this very small landing area that is open to the ground floor over here. And then we have the teenager's bedroom over here. So this teen is very much into crafting, and this bedroom is quite the mess. It is, it's very, very messy, but I really like it. I had so much fun with this one. It's so colorful and definitely very different from the rest of the house, which makes a lot of sense for teen's bedroom, I feel like. And over here is their older siblings' room, and they just moved out to college. So you can definitely tell that it's still their bedroom, but a lot of their personal items are gone. There's some boxes over here with stuff that maybe still needs to go over to the dorms. But for the rest, it's a nice and usable space. And then over here is the upstairs bathroom. I don't think I recorded this one, but it's just a very simple little bathroom with basically the same color scheme as the one downstairs. Then over here, we have the back porch with a nice 6-seater dining table, an outdoor bin, and also a grill. And over here is the rest of the backyard that I already showed you. So that is basically it for this house. So this cozy family home is up on the gallery. It's definitely expensive. It's just under 102,000 simoleons. So sorry about that. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and I built it on a 30 by 20 in the world of San Sequoia. So if you want to place it in your game, then that is where it goes. But that's actually going to do it for today's video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can obviously go ahead and download this house off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok if you'd like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/SimmarySims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!